Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. Welcome. Welcome all desert citizens. I'm talking to you, Palm Springs. I'm talking to you, Desert Hot Springs. I am talking to you, Thousand Palms, Cat City, Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, Bermuda Dunes, Indio, and City of Coachella. How are you doing? Welcome to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. This is a program that's dedicated to you, to your health, to your life. It's designed to put pages in your health book, in your playbook of health. It is designed to empower you to basically, like the saying goes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, except we're elevating that apple to a whole new level, and we're going to empower you. The more you listen to this show, the more empowered you're going to be, so that if and when the time comes, something should go wrong in your health, you won't panic and then rush and delegate your health to the hands of a stranger, which is, as I love saying, is very empowering. So, how are you feeling today? You feeling good? Maybe not so good? Well, if this is the first time you're tuning in, you've come to the right place, because we are going to work on that, and we're going to work on it in a big way. Today's kind of an exciting show, because last week I had an opportunity. I was a guest speaker at the first Taste of Paleo, and coming up at 15 past the hour, I'm going to have Nicole Hellendoorn as my guest. She was a guest speaker there. Nicole Hellendoorn is the founder of the CaliforniaPaleoKitchens.com website. It's a site that deals in basically providing more information about how you can do paleo, how you can find recipes for paleo, if you're having problems getting on this whole concept of paleo, or why this should be beneficial to you. It's a site that's designed to help you. And it was a phenomenal event, and she saw it through her eyes, I saw it through my eyes, and it'd be really cool to talk about it. It was sold out, completely sold out. In fact, they pre-sold like 500 tickets to the Taste of Paleo. It was the first Taste of Paleo in California, and it was totally sold out. People showed up as a friend of a friend, and security had to turn people away. So, and I did a nice little segment there, a nice little lecture on absorption and digestion in the paleo era, and I was told that I did okay. Not so bad. Maybe the boy hit the ball out of the park there. What do you think? Yeah, I'm proud of myself. So, who am I? My name is Amit S.Katz. I'm the owner of Lifestyles Nutrition Center on Highway 111 in Cook Street, in the Ralph's Shopping Center, right next door to Kitchen. I'm also the author of the book, The Frontline of Nutrition, 50 Treatments, Remedies, and Cures you can find in a health food store. I'm also the creator, progenitor, and the mastermind behind the Amit's Lifestyles Diet, and you can always go to Amit's Lifestyles Diet, Amit spelled A-M-I-T-S, lifestylesdiet.com. And you can see all the information about the 6 pillars of my diet, how it kind of allows any individual to get on this diet. It's a rational kind of diet. There's nothing fad about it. If anything, my slogan is, it's not a fad, it just works. You can get on the diet, start navigating your health and your life, and more importantly, your weight, to where you want to go without hitting any stumbling blocks. Because most diets are not designed to really get you off of them. Most diets are designed to keep you on them. And this diet will educate you. Listen, folks, you're also welcome to go and like us on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and you punch in the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program and like us, you'll put a smile on the Catsman's face. And thank you, all of those of you who have done so in the past. It has been heartwarming and cheery. So we're going to do a half an hour interview with Nicole, and then we're going to get into the question of the week. We're going to do herb of the week, which is, I'm not going to be the most original guy on the planet on this one. I always try to kind of think out of the box. On this one, I'm just going to plod along, jump on the bandwagon, and do something that everybody is doing. But I'm going to bring my own little twist and a shake to it. And then we're going to do the acupuncture report, a little bit about our Veterans Outreach Program. And I'd like to obviously, again, get your help and your assistance in this. But let's do the topic of the week before we bring Nicole on. But before we do Topic of the Week, I got a really nice letter that prompted Topic of the Week, and I want to read it to you. If you have a letter that you'd like, or if you have a question that you'd like to write to me, you're welcome to go to lifestylesweb@yahoo.com. And this letter was sent to me. It's a thank you letter that was sent to me at lifestylesweb@yahoo.com. And it goes like this. Dear Amit, I wanted to take the time to thank you so much for putting me back on track. When I saw you on Monday, I was absolutely exhausted, depressed, and filled with anxiety. The supplements that you gave me worked almost instantly. Last night was the first time I can remember sleeping through the entire night without waking up once. Prior to that, I would wake up usually between 1 and 3 p.m. with hot flashes, my mind racing, and usually unable to fall back asleep for the duration of the night. I know this lack of sleep contributed to my anxiety. Today I feel calm, focused, energized, and inspired. You have truly given me my well-being back. All my best, T, from Palm Desert. So, this is, again, something that I do with the folks. People who know me, people who befriend me, or people that just happen to stumble upon me, or a friend recommends a friend, and they come into Lifestyles Nutrition Center, in Indian Wells, and they seek my help. I address their issue. Now, how is it that I was able to help somebody with hot flashes and anxiety and various things like that and help them so quickly? It's because of an understanding of the body. And the show topic, we're going to segue to the show topic, which is really how I was able to help T from Palm Desert, which is the brain-heart-liver connection. Once you understand that anxiety is not just in your head, once you come to the realization that, yes, you can have a brain imbalance, but that brain chemistry imbalance is not from your brain. Not always. There are serotonin imbalances and this and that, but your brain is actually part of the greater scheme. It's influenced by 5 pairs of organs in the body. And the 2 key organs that really influence your brain's chemistry are your heart and your liver. And once you come to that realization, you no longer plod around looking for, you're not missing the forest for the trees, okay? You're seeing the whole forest. And that's what I did with this person. I was able to look at the sum total of the imbalance, which included many things, but it was, as I read, it was hot flashes, and it was anxiety and sleeplessness. And that's where you have to see, you look at the most important thing there, and you start breaking the spiral. You start breaking the chain. You start peeling the onion layer by layer. Or, as I did in this case, I addressed it all in one go. Because your brain, think of it this way, your liver is kind of like your powerhouse of chemical plant of your body. It produces all these nutrients in your body. It filters things out of the body. It will allow certain levels to be achieved by the body. If that doesn't happen, or if things are circulating that shouldn't be there, guess what? Yeah, they're going to appear in your brain. And then your heart is responsible for a certain aspects of your health, including your mood, including your anxiety or your calmness, and how you basically go through life. So if I can scare you, freak you out, and your heart will start to beat very, very rapidly, and then it won't come down at a time when you're supposed to be resting, that will affect your sleep, and it will throw your whole cycle off. So that's basically what I did. I did a series of nutrients that addressed the heart, that addressed sleep, calmed everything down, and while we were at it, I put something in there that was specific for for hot flashes, which a lot of women have. And again, as I spoke about this last time, women can have hot flashes at different points in their life. Guys can get hot flashes, by the way. It's not uncommon. But a menopausal hot flash is very different. It's something that can happen regularly. Guys may get night sweats and things like that, which can be perceived as a hot flash. But that's how you do it. You have to address all factors of that person's health. So, thank you, T. Thank you for that lovely question. And we're going to go to break right now. And when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking to Nicole Hellendoorn of CaliforniaPaleoKitchens.com. And we're going to be scratching her lottery ticket and figuring out all the wonderful information that she is furnishing the folks with on being paleo, keeping their diet clean, and achieving that next level of health through the paleo diet. So, stay tuned. We'll be back. You're listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program on Money Radio 1200.
If good health is important to you, look no further than products from Genesis Today. Genesis Today has a great line of nutritional supplements made from pure natural foods that your body can absorb, instead of chemical supplements manufactured in a laboratory. Genesis Today is a progressive nutrition company that specializes in superfoods. These exceptional plants and fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other vital nutrients at 20 times, 100 times, even 200 times the nutritional value of common fruits and vegetables. These products are prepared with low to no heat so as not to destroy the nutrients, and package them in non-toxic glass bottles for your consumption. Visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center today to find out what Genesis Today product is right for you.
Whenever I work out, my joints ache the next morning.
It's embarrassing to have to take the elevator instead of walking up one flight of stairs because your knees and ankles grind.
I tried glucosamine, and it doesn't work. Thank goodness I found out about Baxel. Now I'm ready to start my day.
Almost immediately I could feel the difference.
I needed Baxel's boost of hyaluronan.
It's safe, it's natural, and it's guaranteed joint relief.
Let me spell it out. B-A-X-Y-L works.
Knees, shoulders, hips, back. Nothing felt good until I took Baxel.
There's nothing like feeling great.
Running a 10K.
Riding bicycles with my grandkids.
I really miss working in my yard on weekend. Thanks to Baxel, I spend every Saturday outdoors.
Baxel lets me be active without worrying about how you'll feel tomorrow.
I asked myself, why did I feel so old for so long?
Baxel is available at Lifestyles Nutrition Center and online at lifestylesnutrition.net. Your joints will thank you.
Have you ever gone to a health food store seeking help and left with a product you didn't trust and information that was less than reliable? That never happens at Lifestyles Nutrition Center in Indian Wells. We have over 20 years of matching our customers with the right supplements to enhance their life and improve their health. Come to Lifestyles and experience our experience. Feel better, look better. And now, through the summer months, receive 25% off of all of our store supplements. For more information, call 760-568-6522. And remember the name, Lifestyles, the first, the last, and the only health food store you will ever need.
Memory. It can be, well, less than reliable. Do you ever walk into a room and forget why you went in there? Ever lose your train of thought right in the middle of a conversation? What about misplacing your car keys or misplacing the whole car? If you think about it, your brain controls everything you do, walking, talking, and remembering things. The healthier your brain is, the better it's able to control all these important functions. As a normal part of aging, our memory begins to fade. Prevagen was developed to improve memory and support cognitive function. If you're experiencing occasional absent-mindedness or just want to support healthy brain function, then visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center in Indian Wells and ask for Prevagen. Prevagen is also available by calling 760-368-6522. Call 760-368-6522 or visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center and ask for Prevagen today.
Check out Money Radio online. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook by searching My Money Radio, and get more at moneyradio1200.com.
Ever plan to motor west? Take that highway, it's the byway that's the best. Now get your kicks on Route 66.
Ah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. That was my good friend. If you like the music that you hear peppered in between segments today, that's my good friend Bill Ferguson. He's a professional musician out here. He does it all. Everything from Suzy Q to Frank Sinatra, through country. He has this smooth, beautiful style. He's just a wonderful person, a phenomenal musician. If you ever need anybody for an event, call Bill Ferguson at 760-347-0422. Again, that's Big Bill Ferguson, 760-347-0422. You will not be disappointed. So, before we went to break, I was telling you folks about the Taste of Paleo food festival that I was a speaker at last week on Sunday, and I had the opportunity to meet another one of the speakers there who does something really, really interesting. Her name's Nicole Hellendoorn, and she is the founder of CaliforniaPaleoKitchens.com, and I have her on the line, and we're gonna get into everything that she does and whatnot. Hey, Nicole, are you there?
I am, Amit. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, my dear?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you wonderfully. It's
great.
It's coming down cats and dogs here in the Coachella Valley. Is it raining where you're at?
No, I'm actually in Carlsbad, and it is, about 75 and not a cloud in the sky. It's beautiful.
Oh, we must have borrowed all your clouds and all your mist because it is coming down. Yesterday we had a complete monsoon cloud break where it just came down. We're not used to this here in the valley, and there were flash floods, and now it's just pouring as we speak, which is kind of cool, you know?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will get some lovely cactus flowers out of it, I hope.
Yeah, that and a bunch of mushrooms after the rain, which is don't eat the mushrooms, kids,
Don't
okay?
eat the mushrooms.
Unless you know what you're doing, and chances are they're not going to be healthy for you. Okay,
It's
Nicole.
not Coachella time. It's not Coachella time.
Exactly. Okay, Nicole, let's get into, before we get into California Paleo Kitchens, I'm really interested, because nobody's born into eating paleo. Very few people today, maybe now this generation is. So
right.
You weren't a paleo person, and now you're part of the paleo community. So I'm really interested in your personal journey, because on your website you actually wrote that you were a former fat kid. How
yes.
fat were you as a fat kid? Were you always fat growing up, and you got called chubby and Crisco and things like that, or you were just always plump and you never cared? How fat were you?
Well, to start, I grew up in a family. My mom's entire side of the family is Italian, so I was actually quite a big baby. I was, at the time, in 83 when I was born, I came out at 9 pounds, 4 ounces,
Whoa.
which is a little bit more common today than it was then.
Uh-huh.
But I was a big baby. I just had an insatiable appetite. From day one, I was just eating everything under the sun.
Okay.
And luckily, I was actually involved in sports almost all of my life, so I was never so much the fat kid that I was taunted, but I was definitely I just had a broader, more athletic build than a lot of the other kids in my class.
Oh, so
I was always one of the top 3 tallest.
So you were more likely to do shot put than you were to be a ballerina?
Yeah, I actually would tell track coaches in middle school, they'd ask how much I weighed for classes, and they wouldn't believe me when I would tell them how much I weighed.
Wow.
I was just very dense and very athletic. The fat kid part is more having to do with just my food preferences. I would eat anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up, again, in an Italian family, eating a lot of pasta, lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
Pasta was at every meal. Mm-hmm. My grandfather was actually a bread baker. So bread, grains,
Wow.
and pasta were actually a huge part of my life, all the way up until my early 20s.
Yeah.
And, when I got to college, I was not working out quite as much.
Mm-hmm.
Your lifestyle is a little bit more stressful. You might not be watching what you eat as carefully.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really have the right tools to make the right nutritional decisions at that age sometimes, unless you were raised that way.
Okay.
So for me, it was kind of a gradual process. And then a few years ago,
mm-hmm.
after one of my dear friends was diagnosed as a celiac and also having soy and casein allergies,
mm-hmm.
We kind of started experimenting with our food. I wanted to lose weight, get healthier, and finally clean up my act post-college.
So,
and we kind of happened upon paleo and started experimenting.
Sorry to cut you off there, Nicole, but
yeah.
when you say wanted to lose weight, if I saw you somewhere, I would say, wow, this gal's kind of chubby, or were you over 200 pounds and you needed to lose 50 pounds? Or you just
at my heaviest, I'm 5'6", just for reference, between 5'5" and 5'6".
Mm-hmm. At
my heaviest, I was probably 155. Which doesn't sound like a lot, and even now with muscle, I'm 135, but
mm-hmm.
it's 20 pounds, basically.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference visually. I wasn't morbidly obese.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go that far at all, but I definitely had some extra stuff going on that I wasn't too happy about.
Okay. So how did you go from being athletic and being kind of more on maybe the dense side, maybe 155? How did you arrive at paleo? Why? Who came to you and said this is the way to go, or how did you come across it?
For me, again, with my business partner being diagnosed with celiac, who's also one of my dear friends, we kind of happened upon paleo reading articles. I did things like juice cleanses. I would eat cans of, Progresso light soup, thinking that if I just cut my calories, I would lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that I could eat like low fat, processed items, and just as long as I was cutting my calories, I should lose weight. But nothing was happening. And I wasn't really feeling that great either. It just became really frustrating. I would work out 3 or 4 days a week, in a way that I thought was working out hard. And just the needle on the scale would not move. And I was beginning to get so frustrated. So when I started learning about paleo, through some of the online sites, the Raw Bowl, the Marcus Daily Apple, and then everything with my business partner that she was learning as a newly diagnosed celiac, to me it just kind of made sense. I was like, oh, I can still eat meat. I love meat.
Yeah.
Vegetables, I love vegetables if I can cook them a certain way. Giving up cheese, okay, that might be a little bit more rough. It hurts my stomach, but I still love it. So it kind of just made sense to me in a way. It seemed intuitive.
Yeah. But, now that you're doing paleo, how, like when Italian family, how do you show up at an Italian family and say, I can't have the lasagna?
Right.
Do they accommodate you?
Yeah, they're actually extremely supportive. At first they were just a little surprised, but I kind of explained to them, my reasoning. I said, nothing's really worked for me the way that this has. As you can see, I'm much more fit than I ever was when I was back at home. And that was the proof in the pudding, and they're very supportive. It's adorable. Actually, my aunt, who's kind of in charge of all of our family dinners, she now goes out of her way to text me and ask, can you eat this? Can you eat that? Whatever it is, and tries to accommodate me. Yeah.
Now, from the moment you got on paleo, or started modifying your diet to kind of remove the gluten, the breads, the carbs, how long did it take you to drop those 20 pounds?
Oh, man. I would say it was a long process for me. It was gradual because I didn't fully commit to paleo for a long time. But over the course of 6 months, I would say, when I started...
That's not so long. 20 pounds in 6 months? That's actually very fast.
Yeah, it was. The big change happened in the last 2 months. I did, kind of a whole 30, but I extended it, 2 months instead of 30 days, so 60 days. Yeah. And that for me kind of dropped the last 5 pounds. I had a lot more muscle definition and, I'm not exactly there today. I'm plus maybe 3 pounds because I'm not working out quite as much. But
the greater God of paleo won't punish you for the 3 pounds, right, Nicole?
I hope not. No, it's great. I'm happy to be able to sustain it and feel like I found something for me that makes sense, that's effective, and that I can sustain and enjoy and not have to worry and feel like I'm depriving myself, basically.
Yeah. Now, the world around you, family, friends, who maybe you didn't, because you obviously don't go around with a banner saying, I eat paleo, but people that maybe didn't know about it, did they come to you and say, wow, Nicole, I see a huge difference. What are you doing?
Yes. Coworkers, family members, friends, tell me about this paleo. What are you doing now? I can see a difference in you. For me, I instantly had more energy. My skin was more vibrant. My skin improved dramatically. My eyes were clearer. I felt just a little bit more energized and kind of on my game. And people noticed. It was definitely a visible improvement. So I started to ask questions. And you're right. I'm not the kind of person to walk around with a giant banner. Saying, I eat paleo. I don't push it on people. I have a huge issue with paleo bullying, actually.
Yeah, you know what? That was the beautiful thing about that food festival, Taste of Paleo. Yes. That it was so relaxed. My experience there was beautiful. It was just a bunch of like-minded people who were doing this paleo thing on various different levels. Some are very strict, some are not so strict, but there was no sense of one, this is a cult, and secondly, there was no sense that this is a religion, that we have to force you into this. There was no preaching going on. It was just we all want to learn. We all want to be able to take our diet, purify it, and take it to that next level. Was that your sense of what was going on there?
Absolutely. I feel like if it wasn't for the name of the festival having the word paleo in it, you could have had someone walk in and they would have been none the wiser. It was just an awesome food festival.
That's exactly. That was a brilliant. That's a brilliant point. I never thought about it through those eyes. When I got up to give my talk, I asked the first question. I think it was show of hands, who does CrossFit here? And I was expecting literally everybody there to throw their hand up, and I would say maybe only 25% of the people were really CrossFitters. So it really was a nice cut across the board of just like-minded people who were into this.
Oh, it was a great crowd. One of my favorite moments, which I mentioned at my blog post recapping the event, was there was a girl who's a high school senior who came up to me after my talk, and she is doing her senior project on GMOs, food additives, and the paleo diet.
Oh,
for her senior project, she's
Nicole,
going to do a whole...
Nicole, I hate to cut you off, but we're going to a hard break right now. I'd like you to stay after the break and continue with. We'll pick it up with with your story from Taste of Paleo. Is that cool?
Absolutely. Yep.
Wonderful. Perfect. When we come back to the break, we'll continue with Nicole Hellendoorn. You're listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program on Money Radio 1200.
NBC News Radio, I'm Melissa Rayberger. Talk about striking Syria ramped up today as the White House announced there is little doubt that chemical weapons were used on citizens in the past week. At the White House, NBC's Kristen Welker.
President Obama did speak with France's President Hollande this afternoon, and I can tell you that is consistent with what is going on behind the scenes here at the White House. According to one top U.S. official, the administration is reaching out to its allies because if the president does decide to take action, he wants to do so with broad international support.
Syria will allow access to UN chemical weapons inspectors, but the White House says 5 days of bombing those areas probably obliterated the evidence. The U.S. Air Force has removed the commander of Malmstrom Air Force Base's nuclear unit following a safety and security inspection. In June, the commander of a nuclear unit at Minot Air Force Base was fired after a poor safety and security review. This is NBC News Radio.
Jay Farner here, president of Quicken Loans. Right now, the rates on a 30-year mortgage are among the lowest that we've seen in decades. So we asked ourselves, what could be more perfect than that? Then we came up with the answer. The Amazing 5 Mortgage, exclusively from Quicken Loans. You see, with our Amazing 5 Mortgage, you get the best of both worlds. It has a low initial rate for the first 5 years, and it's a 30-year term. After the first 5 years, the rate may change once per year. It's perfect. The Amazing 5 Mortgage lets you take advantage of a super low mortgage rate for the first 5 years. That's 5 entire years till the year 2018. Today's super low initial rate on our Amazing 5 Mortgage is all the way down to 2.875%, APR 3.01%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. Or visit us at QuickenLoans.com. The Amazing 5 Mortgage. One more way we're engineered to amaze.
Adjustable rate subject to change. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states.
Safe House of the Desert is the only shelter for runaway and homeless youth in the Coachella Valley. Providing services 24 hours a day, Safe House gives teens a safe place to be and helps them face serious family or school problems, addiction issues, and mental health problems that may seem overwhelming. We are building new transitional living apartments for kids aging out of the foster care system as well. Safe House of the Desert, keeping kids off the street. For more information or to support Safe House of the Desert, visit us at safehouseofthedesert.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
Call now, 800-506-0945, 800-506-0945.
Get more stories, event and ticket info, and interaction by liking us on Facebook. Facebook.com/1010KXPS, your home for sports. Team 1010.
Back up all your cares and woes. Here I go, singing low. Bye, Blackbird.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. That's my good friend in the background, Bill Ferguson. Beautiful musician, beautiful person, and if you need him for any events or anything like that, he's your man at 760-347-0422. Before we went to break, I was talking to Nicole Hellendoorn, who is the founder of California Paleo Kitchens, and she was telling me a story. We both did the first Taste of Paleo food festival, and she was in the middle of she was about to tell me a story about an interaction that she had with somebody at the festival. So, Nicole, please tell us all about it.
Absolutely. It was actually one of the most amazing moments from the festival. There was a girl who was a high school senior who came up to me after my talk, and is doing her senior project on the paleo diet, GMOs, and food additives. Really interesting stuff. And she asked to shadow me on a kitchen clean out. And it was just one of those moments that really started to display how the paleo movement is going from a CrossFit niche type thing to being a lot more mainstream, and the awareness is growing. So I was just blown away by that, and just that was an anecdote on how it's becoming a lot more common and people are understanding it more and learning more about it and interested in it.
And you'd never met her before. She just came to you after your lecture and said, "Hey, I just want to walk with you, talk with you, pick your brain."
Yeah, absolutely. She came right up to me after my presentation and introduced herself. She's with her father and just chatted me up. It was great. And
you're now in contact with her, sharing information?
Yes, we've emailed. I'm trying to do everything I can to give her a really awesome senior project so she can get an A+ for paleo.
That's amazing. See, that's what this world should really be about, people helping each other. That's what this is really all about. And in the spirit of helping others, let's talk about your website. Because we're living now in this world of technology where, back in the day, if you wanted something, it was barter. I had a moose, you had a hammer, I gave you, not a moose, but a yak, I gave you some yak milk, you gave me a hammer, that was the exchange. Now we're doing things on such a technological level that we're basically sharing information. So what is California Paleo Kitchens about? How does it work?
There's a lot of different ways that it works, but let me just give you the gist of what it's really all about. It's essentially a company that I founded that's a hands-on paleo diet consultant. Mm-hmm. We coach people through their transition to paleo, or we also help keep them on track if they're already paleo and just need some additional help with their busy lifestyle. One of our services that we like to start almost everyone off with is the Paleo Kitchen Makeover. Because I really think that the way that you eat and the way that you cook starts in your kitchen. I can sit here and I can give you a list of foods and talk to you until, I'm blue in the face. But if you don't know how to implement those changes in your own day-to-day life, then that's going to be a problem.
So what would a makeover like that look like?
I've got pictures on my site and on my Facebook page, but essentially what it is that, we talk ahead of time. We figure out a time that's mutually convenient. You can either be present for it or not. It depends on how involved you'd want to be. Mm-hmm. But I essentially just go through the fridge and the cupboards, and I get rid of anything that's processed, anything that has any preservatives, anything that's in the back of a vegetable drawer that's been sitting for too long and might be a little funky, any of that stuff. I just go through and I gut the kitchen, and I explain what I'm doing as I go. Okay. I read food labels. I tell people why this ingredient is bad for them or why I'm getting rid of it. And we just go through everything from A to Z and really give them a clean slate mentally and physically to start this new way of eating. Mm-hmm.
And do people catch on? They know pretty much what they're doing, that it's time to just eat some better ingredients and not eat packaged foods? Is that, do they really come on strong when you start to give them the information?
Yeah, most people, by the time they've found me and have found out about CPK, they want to do paleo, or they're curious. So we have a conversation first. You don't just book me and then I show up. It's like we have a conversation about where you're at, what you're trying to achieve, and what's going on. And then from there, people, read the resources that I give them, or they do some of their own research. And by the time I actually get to physically cleaning out their kitchens, they're excited. They're really fired up usually. It's very cathartic for them to purge all these bad items.
So once you've cleaned up their kitchen, do you actually come in and say, okay, do you offer them a cooking class, or do you just refer them? Oh, you do offer cooking classes at home.
We have a whole variety of services. We do the Paleo Kitchen Makeover. Okay. I do assisted grocery shopping. If you want me to go to the store and we can walk through, what to buy, what you can make with certain things. I do some very simple cooking demos that pretty much some very simple recipes that anyone can really do. You don't have to be, an extreme culinary talent to make some paleo dishes that are delicious and healthy for you. Mm-hmm. So we do an assisted grocery shopping, a cooking demonstration, and then for people who are just really busy or just don't want to spend their time every week doing it, if they're local, I can help them with their grocery delivery and go to, a farmer's market for them, a Sprouts. Oh, wow. All those places that would maybe take them 4 trips to get everything that they need and just take care of it for them, so they're never having to worry about whether or not they have paleo options available to them at home.
Wow, that's amazing. I also saw on the website that you're offering different recipes. Are these your own recipes, or are people that have sent in these recipes?
The recipes that are on my site are recipes that I've made up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are just, again, very simple because I myself am not a 5-star chef by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I throw together for my site is just me experimenting and just kind of coming up with quick and easy ways to keep it paleo.
Because the
there are some
pictures...
recipes that draw from other chefs. There's Mary Shanu, the paleo chef, who has some amazing recipes that are a little bit beyond my skill level, but are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You get your blogs. You've got the Balanced Bites blog is great. Nom Nom Paleo has a ton of great ideas. So everything that's on my site is my recipe. But of course, I'm always on the lookout for new recipes, and clients often want an old comfort food standby, and they want to make it paleo. So then I'm kind of researching how to do a paleo lasagna or something like that.
Yeah, because the pictures are amazing, really, really tasty looking. I like the one that caught me immediately was the meatballs and marinara on zoodles.
Yep, zoodles, zucchini noodles.
It was just really beautifully made. And did you take all these pictures? Because it looks like a professional photographer came in and took these pictures.
Thank you so much. Some of them are professional, well, not professional, but Photoshop touched up. But actually 90% of them are just from my Instagram feed on my phone. And it's me, saving the images, using a filter, and then putting them on my site.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. So, for instance, how would one create zoodles, zucchini noodles? How do you do that?
There's a couple of different ways. Some people use what's called a julienne peeler, which is essentially just like a normal carrot grater, carrot peeler, but it cuts the vegetables into thin, uniform julienne strips.
Okay.
So you can get a julienne peeler. They're available on Amazon or at any kind of kitchenware store for about $10. I often just go freehand and use my carrot peeler for zoodles and just kind of make them a little bit more freeform.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you just essentially grate them with that, turn it into strips, and then you want to either microwave them or saute them a little bit until they're soft and more of a noodle-like consistency. Okay.
So you place them in the center of the plate like you would do with the with any pasta dish, and then you topped it here with this bright red marinara sauce.
Yep.
With meatballs.
Absolutely. And the meatballs, yeah. And generally with meatballs, I can do 100% grass-fed beef meatball, or sometimes people like the flavor of doing half pork, half beef. So it's kind of really personal preference, and it's kind of what you like. There's room for experimentation there, and making it personal, whatever works for you.
Yeah. By the way, at the Taste of Paleo, did you have a chance to try the buffalo, the ground buffalo patties?
No, I did not try those. I tried the bison jerky, which was really good, from the Honest Bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Lanahan got a great company going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried, I believe the name of the chef escapes me now at the moment, but I think it was Live Beautiful or Live Beautifully, and she had like a carne and sugo, which is like a traditional Mexican dish that she had presented as sort of a taco cup. So it was, like stewed meat with some guacamole.
Yeah.
So I had some of that.
I was the food judge for this, so I got around. I was one of the 3 judges that went around and tried all the food. So yeah, I remember her dish. It was actually very good. She did a nice layer. It was a stew. It was Yeah, it was just a beautiful stew, and it had nice layers to it. So, what was the beef that she used in that dish?
That's I believe like a carne asada, if I remember correctly. But it's a dish that I believe the name is, and my Spanish is not perfect, but it's carne al sugo, which translates loosely into like little meat and sauce. Yeah,
that was really, really good. So. Yeah, that was yummy. Now, when you cook the meatballs in this particular dish, do you boil them? Do you just put them right in the sauce? How are you pulling this off?
I am making the meatballs, and again, there's a million different ways you can do meatballs, so I'll just give you the quick and dirty way that I do it.
Okay.
I put the ground meat together in a bowl. I add an egg, which for binding, which is optional. The meat will stick together just fine, even if you don't use an egg. I season it with garlic, salt, pepper, and essentially I just make them into little meatballs, and I bake them at 350 for about 10 minutes or so. Depends on how done you want them. If they're beef, obviously if they're pork and beef, you want to cook them all the way. So about 10 to 15 minutes. I do the marinara separately on the stovetop, and then I just put it all together at the very end.
Now, do you have an alternative, a paleo alternative to like mozzarella? Because on paleo, a lot of people, there are paleos who do dairy, and there are paleos who are very strict who don't do dairy.
Right.
So, do you have an alternative?
Most people, sorry?
Do you have an alternative to a mozzarella cheese topping for pasta?
Yes, I absolutely do. I personally will just go without and not do a cheese because I don't tend to miss it. Dairy was always an issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what a lot of people do, and I believe paleocupboard.com has a great recipe for a cashew-based cheese that kind of gives you that melty, stringy mozzarella-like consistency. So people use cashews that are soaked, they blend them, and they do things to it to give it this kind of cheese-like taste and texture.
Uh-huh. Wow. Well, Nicole, this has been amazing. We have to have you back on the show.
I would love it.
Yeah, it was nothing short of a delight to have you on the program, and we'll stay in touch, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. You've been listening to Nicole Hellendoorn of CaliforniaPizzaKitchens.com. You're welcome to go to her website, which is CaliforniaPizzaKitchens.com, and like her on Facebook.
It's actually California Paleo Kitchen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. What a horrible host. I am so...
No,
CaliforniaPaleoKitchens.com. Oh, my gosh. Please, somebody fire this boy.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thanks, Nicole. So we're going to...
No problem. Have a great day.
Hey, take care. So we're going to go to break now, and when we come back from the break, we're going to do Best Question of the Week, Herb of the Week, and the Acupuncture Report. You're listening to Money Radio 1200.
Memory. It can be, well, less than reliable. Do you ever walk into a room and forget why you went in there? Ever lose your train of thought right in the middle of a conversation? What about misplacing your car keys or misplacing the whole car? If you think about it, your brain controls everything you do, walking, talking, and remembering things. The healthier your brain is, the better it's able to control all these important functions. As a normal part of aging, our memory begins to fade. Prevagen was developed to improve memory and support cognitive function. If you're experiencing occasional absent-mindedness or just want to support healthy brain function, then visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center in Indian Wells and ask for Prevagen. Prevagen is also available by calling 760-368-6522. Call 760-368-6522 or visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center and ask for Prevagen today.
Whenever I work out, my joints ache the next morning.
It's embarrassing to have to take the elevator instead of walking up one flight of stairs because your knees and ankles grind.
I tried glucosamine, and it doesn't work. Thank goodness I found out about Baxel. Now I'm ready to start my day.
Almost immediately, I could feel the difference.
I needed Baxel's boost of hyaluronan.
It's safe, it's natural, and it's guaranteed joint relief.
Let me spell it out. B-A-X-Y-L works. Knees, shoulders, hips, back. Nothing felt good until I took Baxel.
There's nothing like feeling great.
Running a 10K.
Riding bicycles with my grandkids.
I really miss working in my yard on weekend. Thanks to Baxel, I spend every Saturday outdoors.
Baxel lets me be active without worrying about how you'll feel tomorrow.
I asked myself, why did I feel so old for so long?
Baxel is available at Lifestyles Nutrition Center and online at lifestylesnutrition.net. Your joints will thank you. If good health is important to you, look no further than products from Genesis Today. Genesis Today has a great line of nutritional supplements made from pure natural foods that your body can absorb, instead of chemical supplements manufactured in a laboratory. Genesis Today is a progressive nutrition company that specializes in superfoods. These exceptional plants and fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other vital nutrients at 20 times, 100 times, even 200 times the nutritional value of common fruits and vegetables. These products are prepared with low to no heat so as not to destroy the nutrients and package them in non-toxic glass bottles for your consumption. Visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center today to find out what Genesis Today product is right for you.
Have you ever gone to a health food store seeking help and left with a product you didn't trust and information that was less than reliable? That never happens at Lifestyles Nutrition Center in Indian Wells. We have over 20 years of matching our customers with the right supplements to enhance their life and improve their health. Come to Lifestyles and experience our experience. Feel better, look better. And now, through the summer months, receive 25% off of all of our store supplements. For more information, call 760-568-6522. And remember the name, Lifestyles. the first, the last, and the only health food store you will ever need.
From the Coachella Valley out to the world. Listen to us anywhere. Streaming live 24/7 at moneyradio1200.com.
That's my good friend Bill Ferguson in the background. Beautiful, beautiful work, Bill. Yeah, if anybody needs good music, you know to call Big Bill Ferguson at 760-347-0422. From country to jazz to western, and as you can see, La Bamba. He does it all. So let's do best question of the week. This is a strange one. Okay. This is really strange. You can send me a question on lifestylesweb@yahoo.com. And any questions that anybody fires into the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program, I honor them. I never just gloss over them and then delete them. And in the spirit of not negating anybody, I'm going to read the following question. It comes from David Koicha, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, of Coachella. And he says, Dear Amit, during the show, I hear you use the word booby, quote unquote. What does that mean? Well, first of all, David, this is a show about health and nutrition, and not so much about slang and lingo, but it's a good question. It's simultaneously the best question of the week and kind of the worst question of the week. So I'm going to honor you with that and give you an answer. Booby is slang. It comes from an Eastern European dialect called Yiddish, which is commonly spoken amongst Eastern European Jews. It's something that I heard growing up quite a bit. It comes from the word buba, which means doll. So if somebody calls you booby, it's like saying doll or doll face or cutie or something like that. I hope that answers your question. And for that, usually I hand out a prize for that, but for such the best and the worst question, you get nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Okay? Come back at me with a health question. Not a linguistics question, David. Anyway, David, you know what? Write me another question, and we'll send you out a prize, or come into the store and we'll talk. Okay, booby. So that's best question of the week, best and worst question of the week. I've never had an opportunity to do that before. So let's do herb of the week. Herb of the week, as I told you at the beginning of the show. Usually I try to be, Mr. Trendsetter and go with something that's weird, strange, odd, something that most people aren't familiar with or aren't aware of. This week I'm just going to jump on the bandwagon with everybody else. This week's herb of the week is goji berries. You've heard about them. Dr. Oz has been talking about them. They've been on the market now for commercially being sold in large bags for 3, 4, 5 years. The Latin name is Lycium barbaratum, and the Chinese name is gojitsu, and that's where we get the goji part from. Goji berries. My first experience with them was when I was being treated by Dr. Chu. Back in 1994, he was the first Chinese physician, acupuncturist, and herbalist that ever treated me. And it was part of the formula. And back then, he didn't put formulas together for you that were powdered, that were extracted. He had me boil the herbs in bulk form. So I would go up to the apothecary, he'd yank all the herbs out, weigh them, and then put enough together for daily servings. And in the middle of this pouch of all these herbs were these little red berries. And I was tempted once, and I just picked it up, put it in my mouth, tasted it, and it tasted something like a cross between a raisin and maybe a prune with just a little hint of salt. So it was very sweet. Goji berries traditionally are used as a tonic. They strengthen the body. They in the Oriental Materia Medica, they appear in the tonic section of herbs. under the heading tonics of the blood or hematic tonics. They're also very powerful tonics of kidneys, and another aspect of the kidneys is the nurturing aspect of the kidneys. Now, you can find them in various forms. Goji berries come in many, many ways. You can get them in bulk. You just get a bag of goji berries that have, 12, 14 ounces in them. You can find them in concentrates, like a powder, like a 5-to-1 concentrate powder. You can find them in capsules, and you can find them in a juice. And, which one you should choose really kind of suits, you should really choose which one of these that you want according to your lifestyle, according to how you're going to use them. Because the goji berries in the bulk form, you can just go ahead and sprinkle them on yogurt in the morning, or on your breakfast, instead, in the place of raisins. You can take those, you can soak them in hot water, steep them in hot water with like a mesh ball, and it'll make a tea. The 5-to-1 concentrate, you can cook with it, you can make sauces with it, or you can just drink it as a tea. Capsules, you would just swallow. And there are just many, many ways of administering this wonderful herb, which is really, so what is it good for? So it's strong, it's a strong kidney tonic, it's good for the heart. There's some information that it's good for the skin, keeps the skin very, very clean and clear. It's also a tonic for the eyes, and it's also a key component in several formulas that are tonifying for vision. There's last week I think I spoke about the a variation of 8 flavored tea pills. When I think I spoke about somebody's hot flashes, and there was a form of 6 flavored tea pills which actually incorporated various different herbs, and there is a variation of it that has goji berry in it, which strengthens the eyes and vision. So goji berries are a superfruit. They're very nutritive. That red pigment that you see in them is actually a carotenoid, which is powerfully, it's very much like beta carotene, slightly different though. It works on the eyes and strengthens vision. So in a nutshell, that is goji berries. Now let's do the acupuncture report. The folks out there were very, very good, and you responded very well. 2 weeks ago, I announced that me and Dr. Peter Leo, he's the acupuncturist that works at Lifestyles Nutrition Center with me. We wanted to send out a request to the public to help us find a vet, either from Gulf War or from the Iraq Afghanistan war from 10 years ago. And yes, we found somebody that we are now sponsoring gratis, and he'll be getting treatment from us for 3 months. But once again, I would like to send that request out. This is one person. We have room for more, and we would definitely like your assistance in this. So if you have a family member, or if you know somebody that is a little banged up from coming back, after coming back from combat abroad, either Iraq or Afghanistan, and he needs a little extra tender, loving care, we are more than happy to sponsor them. You're welcome to call the store at 760-568-6522. And, just give us a call. So, if you've come back and the VA, haven't really addressed your issues 100%, maybe the doctors there are not really getting to the root cause of the problem that's disturbing you or bothering you or compromising your health, or if you know a friend that has been in combat, or if you know a family member, or pretty much anybody out there that you know that might need our services, we are more than happy to help. We want to help. Dr. Leo is phenomenal at treating various conditions, the body, the pain, the mental anguish. So we have come to the end of our show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Valley Harvey, for making me sound so good as my show producer. And again, thank you for Nicole Hellendoorn from CaliforniaPaleoKitchen.com. You are listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program.